everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Fans of Power. Well, this is still episode 244, but I'm Joe Amato, and I'm here with one of my partners in crime, Nasty Nate, Nathan Kennedy. Tyler's not on for this episode. This is the ones where usually Nathan and I like talking about the Masters of the Universe magazines back in the day. Not that Tyler hates them, you know, we've talked about some of the stories in here. It's just, this is something where we like reading, sometimes picking apart maybe something that these people have possibly sent in that they did or didn't do. But either way, it's kind of fun doing these magazines because they got good stuff in them beyond the amazing art, too.
It's always a blast to go through these, though, as we go through this issue. You know what? Dare I say, I'll go ahead and put this out here. I think out of the three, because this is issue 3, I feel like the other 2 issues were a little bit stronger. I feel this issue, in terms of things you can interact with in the magazine, there's not as much going on with this one. I feel like. Well, we'll see as we dig deeper into it. But the reason this episode is at 3 o'clock in the afternoon is because I have the day off. So we thought we'd make up just a little bit of ground and all that time that we missed in the couple months that I was waiting for internet. And I thought we'd treat you guys to a bonus midweek episode. So here we are.
There you go, definitely. And thanks for joining us, Curtis Ackerman and Dingalorian. It's good to have you right here. Because we didn't expect many people to be here because this is definitely a different time, different day. Some people are, well, it's probably really early for most people. But either way, if you pop up during the show, it's great. We'll still give you a shout out.
And we'll still do questions if you guys want to ask us stuff at the end, like we always do.
Yep, and Nathan will be showing, of course, all the scans for this. For me, you know, I always show, you know, like how my magazine looked, like how much is still there or not there. This one didn't, the back cover definitely didn't survive too well, unfortunately. None of the posters are in here. Some of the posters that of the other magazines, I was able to put them back and shove them back, but this one, this didn't last. But by the way, amazing art from Earl Norem on the cover. Of course, you can always expect to get the great posters in here. But when you're ready to start in whatever way you want to do, we can do it.
Well, here we go. I've had this up since we've been live. It's issue 3, the summer of 1985, so I would have been a whole whopping 1 year old. Or 1 year old. However you want to say it.
Now you make me feel old. I'm not saying my age, but you make me feel old. But,
Joe was, I think, about to graduate high school when this came out.
There you go. Yeah, I was about 18, 19. I mean, I flunked a couple times, so yeah, I'm older than shit. But no, but geez, you were 1. Dear God. All right.
Well, it depends on exactly when this came out, because it says summer 85. When I think of summer, that could be like June. Some people even think May. I don't know when the official. I feel like the official start of summer on the calendar is somewhere in June.
And this is when, again, and that's the other thing, is sometimes, like, even though yes it can be considered June, but then like sometimes with comics or, you know, even magazines, sometimes it was either earlier than summer or later than summer. And because I'll be honest, yes, I know this is, well, obviously this is a summer issue, but I was like, I don't know if I got this in July or August, September, or like you said, May, June. Either way, it was it was summer, but I can't remember when. But this is the summer issue, definitely.
We'll just assume that I was either about to turn 1 or had turned 1 when this came out.
Yeah, because the thing I'd like to remember is because I'm trying to think of, like, well, when the Secret of the Sword movie was shown on television, I think that was like in September. So I was like, okay, well, that was shown in September. That means that the movie was out before that in the theaters. I honestly, off the top of my head, could not remember in theaters when it was. I think it might have been, believe it or not, around March. So it's possible that, March, you got Secret of the Sword. And then when this came out, of course, they had their kind of version of Secret. You'll see, there's a story in here that's kind of like Secret of the Sword, but vastly different, a lot quicker. A lot of
very condensed down.
Yeah, condensed a lot. I mean, so much to where when we get to it, you'd think, well, wouldn't Tila have questions, or wouldn't this person? I mean, we'll get to that later, but either way, yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and dive right in. So.
Real quick. Hello, Legends of Grayskull. Nope, not Sunday already, but we're getting there. It's almost Sunday, but thanks for joining us, Legends of Grayskull.
Soon enough. We have an Oreo advertisement here, which I think have been in prior magazines. I might be wrong. I don't really.
And I didn't do it. I did not do my Oreo thing. Some of these little mazes or puzzles or things I do, I did not touch that. So, in case you were going to ask, didn't do that.
Okay. And we've also been told that September 85 is correct for She-Ra premiere.
Secret Sword on TV. Okay. All right. Yeah, and I think it was March in the theaters. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was March in the theaters. But okay.
Well, we have our letter from He-Man, which I feel like, other than saying, "Hey, here's the poster and here's this," you pretty much get the same message in every single issue, just a little verbiage change. But I'll show the posters off at the end because I definitely made sure to remember to put them in here, and you can already get a tease. You can't. I could probably lift up the camera a little more. You can already see over there next to my classics collection. I think this is easily my favorite poster from the magazines. So that was definitely one that I had to obtain off of the Evil Bay and hang on the wall.
Right.
It wasn't as expensive as you think it would be because I just got the poster separate from the magazine. I'm not.
And that's when people can make their money sometimes the most. They'll actually sell those, posters separately without the magazine. But I was like, man, if you just get it, you can really, if you look at eBay, you can catch it the whole magazine with the posters, and well, sometimes even save more money. But at least you don't have to go back out to get the magazine later. So
that's true, and I'm not gonna try to go and buy all the magazines. That's not something that I have interest in because one, if I had them all, where would I store them? Because I still got to go get all those comic books at my parents' house. And, no.
Well, I'm sure you got plenty of wall space and room, and you could do it. You could get it all, Nathan.
I could. I do. All right, so we have, I wouldn't even call it a half-finished basement because it's a mostly finished basement, and then there's another room that's like the laundry room that leads outside. And I've already put my movies, vintage video games down there. I have... There's another room. It's a smaller room, but I have one, and there's nothing in it, and I don't know what to do with it yet. And I'm like, do I just take more action figures and make more displays? And now Joe's like, buy all the magazines, get all the posters, hang them on the wall.
Do it. I'm telling you, it'd be awesome. You got to do it. And I was going to say, Master Universe fan in the chat room said he was 13 and still has his original magazine. So we're getting ages of a lot of people. Curtis Ackerman was 8 years old. So you brought up you being 1. Everybody else started saying how old there. So now we get an idea of everybody's age.
I would say that I'm the youngest here right now, but I know Dingo Lorian already threw in the chat. But I also know personally that I am 2 years older than him. So he's now the youngest person here.
The youngest.
Yeah. Joe is by far the oldest. Let's not...
Well, hey, come on now. Master Universe fan said he was 13. I wasn't that old. Damn. I don't think it was. I don't know. All right. Hey, let's get to something real quick. This Wheeled Warriors thing, this, you know what's funny is anytime they show something else, and yeah, I know Mattel put out the toys and stuff, but I never read it. Like, even right now, this is being probably my first time reading this, if we're going to read this quick little story. But I always felt like when there was something else in a Masters of the Universe magazine, I was like, what are you doing in here? You don't belong. That was my thought as a kid. I hated it. I was like, this shouldn't be in here. This isn't He-Man stuff. So, God, I don't think I watched the cartoon, ever got the toys. I mean, they might have had some cool stuff, but there was no interest to me as a kid.
Yeah, all of this is honestly lost on me. This was something, obviously... before my time, but this was also one of those properties that was just a blip, you know, because it was in between so many other Juggernaut toy lines that it just didn't last that long. So I remember nothing about the toys. I remember nothing about the show, but I would be interested in checking it out. I'm certainly not against that now. Yeah, I just, let's get some cool chrome on the 2 toys there. But yeah, I guess I'm not going to even want to discuss this. This isn't a Wheeled Warriors podcast. Go to the next page. That sucks. Well, forget that page. All right, I'll flip to the next page. But I do want to say really quick, I was never like a vehicle kid. Like, I was more the action figure itself. When it came to vehicles and play sets, like I would get them and play with them a little bit, but it was mostly just about the figure interaction for me for the most part.
Well, Masters of the Universe, for me, it was the vehicles and the playsets and the figures. It was, because it was so fantasy-like, it was like, if I was to see these things with kind of the wheels and looking more Earth-like kind, even though, yes, this is, it's all fake and phony too, that stuff never did anything for me. But seeing something like, Blaster Hawk and the Fright Fighter still, I think that might be the biggest vintage vehicle for Masters of the Universe, and it's also one of the most underrated and barely talked about ones. That is a massive thing. I don't know if you've ever seen a Fright Fighter in person. That thing is gigantic. I mean, I got so much into the vehicles. I mean, Land Shark, damn, there's so many cool ones. Spydor. See, now you got me thinking about all that stuff.
Yeah, I do have a Spydor right there in the floor. I'll just move over a little bit so you can see it. But yeah, I don't know. It was always, I think it had to be smaller vehicles that I was into. Like with G.I. Joe, vehicles were fine, but like Ninja Turtles, I wasn't really into the vehicles. I don't know why. It was just something that I don't know.
It's weird. It's just something I guess you never really thought about, because like the ones you're talking about have more, Earth type vehicles, so it's kind of like, who cares? But in He-Man, it's like everything is just fantasy. So when you're looking at something like, there's not anything that, like you said, that looks like Spydor or Bashosaurus or Land Shark or any of those things. Like, these things don't exist. So I think that's what made you just interested in them. Is like, what the hell is this thing? At least for me, that it captured my imagination. Just seeing something so far removed from something you'd see on Earth, it was just memorable.
And I think half of my thing too was, and we've talked about this before, that I was into just displaying figures a lot more than I was playing with them, even as a kid. I just like putting them on the shelf and just like sitting there and admiring it, as opposed to just
even as a kid, you never played.
I mean, I did, but I would always, when I was done playing, I would put them on the shelf and display them, or put them back in their collector case and everything. I just liked everything being like neat and put together.
Oh, I did the same thing. Like the shelf that's above me right here, this is the same shelf that my dad built for me when I was a kid. That's why I still use this one on the wall. That's the wall shelf that I had all my Masters figures on, and they're almost in the same exact way I put them way back when I was a kid. So, I was the same way. I'd play with them, but then I put them back up. I wasn't one of those box kids or under the bed kids where they just shove the toys under the bed or throw them in a box and off in the corner. No, they went on a shelf and they were all displayed, and yeah.
It's weird how we did that. And I never liked other kids playing with my toys either. That would always freak me out a little bit. Or I wouldn't be the kid that would take my toys to school because I didn't want someone else playing with them and possibly destroying them. I agree. Very, very weird about that stuff. I guess still weird about it now. But here's our contents, and I gotta say, we get the same picture again when we get to the He-Man of the issue. Could they have not picked a better picture of this kid? Because he looks just very lost. I don't know. Like,
That's called the school pictures. You were always shocked.
They should have picked something else, though. Like, have a candid Christmas photo or something. Don't go with the school picture.
That might have been all the poor kid had. Maybe his family didn't have no camera or nothing, and they said, "Could you send in a photo?" And they, like, "Mom, Dad, can I send one of my school photos in? That's all we have." I'm like, "Oh, you got to, honey. We don't have a camera." See, that kid could have been poor. He might not have. Jesus, Nathan, come on.
I'm just saying, it's not a good picture. It's not a good look for that kid.
Oh, poor kid. That's terrible.
But moving on to one of my favorite segments of when we flip through these magazines, the He-Man mailbox. I haven't read any of these prior, so I am very excited to check these out individually. The drawing of Orko, not too bad. I do like that drawing of Clawful down there.
Oh, that's the thing. I remember as a kid, I loved that Clawful. It just made me want the figure even more. I mean, I was like, please, because of course we've seen him in the cartoon like that, and the colors are slightly different. I was like, that kid drew a great looking Clawful. It really made me want it's just funny you bring it up, because I thought both of these were really good, but yeah, the Clawful was the best, and Orko's pretty good, and it was from a 9-year-old. Dear He-Man, I am 9 years old. You and Orko are my favorite characters. I like you because you're so strong, and I like Orko because he's so funny. Here's my picture of Orko, and that's from Chris Ham, Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. Yes. I have to see if we can find Chris Ham up on Facebook.
Hey, do you still like Orko? No, what are you even talking about, man?
My mom made me write that, just try to get a free subscription and get my name in a magazine.
I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit on these. Either that or my eyesight's getting kind of bad. Dear He-Man, I am in 6th grade. I enjoy watching you and Man-at-Arms fight against Skeletor and other creatures and monsters. Tell Orko that if he tries hard enough, his spells will probably work. Remember, He-Man, I'm right behind you all the way. And that is from Brad Belinky from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada.
So 6th grade, he's probably about 12, maybe 13 years old, and I guess I'll give him a pass. It wasn't too bad like some of the other ones we've seen before, but yeah, I'll give him a pass. Not many pictures on this.
Yeah.
You know, usually a lot of the mailbox, they had more pictures with every one, so this one just kind of people, like, you know, the other one, Dear He-Man, I'm 11 years old. My favorite part of your magazine is the stories. My brother Scott likes them too. We read them over and over, and that's Bruce by Lexington, Illinois.
How did that get in here? Like, that's so generic, and
a lot of those were bland.
Yeah.
They're just, I'm almost wondering if some of these were just phony letters. Just look at them. It's like, I almost don't want to read those guys. It's like, it's just blah, blah. I don't know. At school last year, we played He-Man. It was fun, except when I had to be Evelyn. I like being Teela of the Sorceress. I am in 2nd grade. Okay, well, Tiffany, that was a young girl. All right, that was cute for 2nd grade. Go ahead. You can get one now.
This is from Stevie Markovic from Breedsville, Michigan. I watch your show every day after school. Your stories and lessons make my day. I'm 11 years old.
Isn't that nice? So, I mean, really, just for that person to even say that, your stories and lessons make my day. I tell you, that's what kids need nowadays, are some damn morals and lessons.
Or just a nice, well,
they need something.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe a nice whooping every now and then. Because I mean, you know, I'm not. This will be kind of awkward. I'm not like condoning, like, people take that too far. Obviously,
punch somebody, like, no.
But hey, man, like, all of us.
I know what you mean.
All of us here can remember having to go and pick out a Switch. You know, and I'm not talking about the Nintendo kind either.
Not me. I mean, I was a great kid. I never gave my parents reason. You know what's crazy though? I swear to you, it's not a joke. I never gave them reason for any of that.
I mean, that's good.
I really was I was an ass kisser. I was a good kid, and in school, I was always good. Only time I ever got paddled when I was with a table that wouldn't shut up, and we were in 2nd grade, and they kept saying it in lunchroom because every table's number. They're like, you know, table 23. If you do not stop, you're going to be going out into the hall and getting paddled. And then we'd get quiet. And it wasn't me doing it. I'm sitting all the way at the end by myself trying to eat my food because I had an extra French fry because I traded my burger for a fry. I liked their crunchy fries. Came in this one bag with holes, and they were super crunchy. I'm sitting there just trying to have my mountain of fries with ketchup that I poured down like a volcano. And they kept going again. And sure enough, they said, okay, get up. You're going in the hall. And they lined every one of us up and then went paddle, paddle, paddle. Kids were screaming and crying. When they came to me, I think they realized I'm not a troublemaker, and I still think that the guy was lighter when he hit me. But they're all crying. I was like, that was the only time I got paddled. And all I wanted to do was eat my food.
And that goes to show you just how old Joe is, because they weren't paddling anymore by the time I was in school. So there you go.
Oh yeah, they paddled, and then some of those teachers would drill holes through the paddle to make it for that wind resistance to go quicker. Whoosh. It's like, yeah, I didn't want to, but you know what? It made a lot of the kids shut up. They knew that, oh my God, if I cause trouble, there's a consequence to my actions. Kids usually shut their mouth more. I don't know what it's like nowadays. I mean, like you said, you're not condoning violence.
Obviously they're not doing anything, and I'm not saying, I don't know. It's just a weird time.
I know what you mean.
It's just a generational, how you grew up kind of thing, but I remember having to go pick out switches. It was the same thing, like, no, that wasn't good enough, and then they go get the thinnest one, and I can still feel like just what that feels like, and it is not a good thing.
I've never experienced it, and now Grimm's trying to make me feel old. Grimm said, paddled? What year was this?
Exactly.
We got to move on, because I don't want it picking on me. Dear He-Man, I love your magazine and your TV show. I can't wait to see your movie. I am 6 years old. That's Jamie Ryan from Chandler, Arizona. And poor Brett Bonus didn't even have any story, just a great picture.
Hey, sometimes that's all you need. But Jamie Ryan, I'm kind of curious how Jamie Ryan felt in a couple years once that movie did come out. If they were happy with it or if they were disappointed.
Well, if she was so young, I don't know if that was a guy or a girl, but either way, I think they were so young they probably enjoyed it. I think it was only maybe jaded people like me that were slightly older that when we seen it, they said, "This don't look like He-Man," and we got real nitpicky and annoyed by it. And years later, maybe enjoyed it. Some people still hated it, but I think people that were real young, they just might have just embraced it.
Yeah. Maybe. Well, I mean, 8 years old at the time. I probably liked it okay for what it was. You want me to read this?
Do the big one.
You
do the big
do
one.
the big one. I am 5 years old, and I like to write stories. Here's one I wrote about Castle Grayskull. One day, there was a fire at the castle. Everyone was running around and shouting, "We need water to put out this fire." One little prince was sleeping and did not want to leave the castle. He-Man tried to save the little prince, but Skeletor tried to stop him. He-Man won and saved the prince. The fire department came and put out the fire.
Well, at first I was going to say I'm calling bullshit on Ben Weber being 5 years old and writing this epic story.
Well,
but then the fire department came. So I'm thinking, he still needed help, and he was just rambling stuff to his mom and dad, because when you hear fire department, it's like, yeah, that came from a kid's head. So this was probably a mixed bag of mom, dad, and Ben Weber writing the story.
And I'm assuming, too, that Snout Spout wasn't around yet.
At this time, I think, Jesus, was Snout Spout just almost around the same time or just after? Good God, now I'm trying to remember what wave he was in. But, yeah, Snout Spout probably wasn't in this kid's memory or even thought to do it. I think he came out just a little bit after all this other stuff, possibly, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Up here, we have another subscription, which it was kind of them to show us all three issues that have been out and released. So make sure you don't miss any of the action. You get the posters.
Yep.
You get
I didn't cut mine out. I kept it because I didn't get rid of mine because I think I was still getting the subscription, so I didn't need to do it by then. I couldn't remember how long each one would last, but it was later until I did the resubscribing. And there's JSP, what's up? And Andy Yelsey said Snout Spout was sleeping on the job, so there you go. Andy Yelsey, remember, he's the one that knows everything about Masters and created and all that. But no, I'm going to give him credit. Andy Yelsey, it's because of his father working on the brand way back then, is that we know about the Lords of Power and all those like little what do you call them, like slides of film or whatever. It was like little things that would show the pictures. He was the one that had them and uncovered them, and that's the reason they did the Lords of Power exclusives at PowerCon, because we heard the reference of that in the mini comic, when there was that one that was shown that was an early one, but we never seen the slides. It's because of him we had that. So if anybody deserves the damn 5-pack of Lords of Power from PowerCon, it should be Andy Yowzy. He should have been getting one for free, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even have that. There's a ramble. See, Andy popped up and I had a ramble. Sorry about that.
Oh, I was just going to be like, I was like, hey, Val, is mine in the mail for me to review on the show?
No, if you were, send it to Andy. Yeah. Get his name, get his address. If he doesn't have one, I don't even know if Andy has one, but if he doesn't, he deserves one, because
if he doesn't
he's the
have
reason.
What, an address?
No, the 5-pack. If he doesn't have the 5-pack,
I was like,
he deserves
what?
it.
He'd have to have an address, Joe. Everybody's got an address.
Some people, like me, that were at one time getting food out of the dumpsters. But let's go to the next page. Where are we at? We on the page with the next letter section?
Yes.
You got to get that up there. Yeah. Okay.
So
what the hell? I accidentally hit pause. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Pause. Here we have from Matt Rudd. This is his creative character that I
liked it.
It looks okay. I mean,
as a kid, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Oh God, I sound like when I do this to Tyler and everybody else. But I like seeing something different. So as a kid, I looked at it, I was like, that's pretty cool. I like that character, just because I wanted more He-Man figures, more He-Man toys. So for me, I like that. I mean, as an adult, some people might say, oh, that kind of looks crappy or stupid. But go ahead, Nathan. I'd like to hear it.
I am 12 years old. You and Fisto are my favorite heroes. The best part of your spring magazine was the creative character. Here's my creation. I wish that Matt would have named him.
Yeah, instead of he was a good guy, bad guy, he looks like a bad guy. But yeah, I wished he would have named him too. I just thought it was cool seeing something different, because we're always so used to seeing, them draw something that is already existing. So when I'd see something new, it's eye catching. It just catches your eye.
And not bad for 12 years old. I mean, not as good as that Clawful, but
I might have to see if I can find Matt Rudd seriously on Facebook, because I'd be curious to say, hey, what would you have named that guy? And then maybe I'd make an action figure for him. Wouldn't that be nice of me, just to make a figure?
And then Matt would be like, I don't remember this.
Like, oh, that's terrible. Like, He-Man. Oh, yeah, I remember that when I was a kid. I don't like that no more. You never know.
Never know.
But, dear He-Man.
Dear man.
Dear man, I like you because you help the good people who live on Eternia. Your friends Orko and Cringer make me laugh. It's nice to have such good friends when you need help. I am 6 years old, and that's Kyle Mogenberg from Charlotte, Michigan. I can believe him. That's 6 years old. Sounds like 6-year-old. I can believe that.
Dear He-Man.
Go ahead.
I'm 14, and I read your magazine faithfully. The posters are a fantastic idea. I also enjoy the puzzles and games. I wish there were more. I'm sorry, 14, and you're...
That's...
I mean, whatever. The simple joys in life, right?
Not bad. I mean, in a way, it's kind of like, I could say, okay, he's kind of writing to the He-Man magazine, because he mentions he likes the posters, the games. I mean, I love the posters and games, too. It's at least he can say, He-Man, I like you. I would like to go to Eternia and spend time with you, and we could play. Then we would have had an issue with 14-year-old Walter. But otherwise, no, that's okay.
Okay.
That's an all right one.
That's all right.
Dear He-Man, I am 9 and my sister gave me a really nice surprise. She ordered your magazine for me. She knows that I think you're the greatest. Keep up the good work protecting Eternia. And that's from Clifton Bonds, San Dimas, California. I believe that one. That's probably what that person wrote.
Is that where I come in and say, San Dimas high school football rules? And then slam my fist.
Oh, that was Billy Madison?
No.
Wait, no, is that
Bill and Ted.
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh. What did Billy Madison say ruled? Because there was something he said. Remember when he was saying that speech in front of the whole class, and then he didn't know what to do, and then I think he said something about some kind of football rules, and they all cheered. I can't remember.
Maybe he actually said the same line. I don't know. I need to watch Billy Madison again. The best parts for Billy Madison for me are when they're watching TV and the dog says, "Speak for yourself, moron," and then he's like, "Oh my God, that's funny."
The part I liked was after Billy said his entire speech that I just said, and when that principal looked at him, he was like, Mr. Madison, that has to be the most insane, idiotic thing. Remember, he's like, nowhere in that speech did you give anything that was cohesive. He just rambles on and he's like, you get no points, and may God have mercy on your soul or something. And then he's like, simple no would have did fine or something like that. Poor Billy. Go ahead.
Dear He-Man, last year for my birthday, my mom made me a He-Man cake. I have your posters on my bedroom walls. I love anything that has to do with you. That's from Stephen Haywood, Tampa, Florida.
That's an 8-year-old letter. I believe that one. See, we haven't had too many things that I'm calling bullshit on so far, like those other issues. But dear He-Man, I'm a student in the 4th grade, and I watch you on TV every day. I have a cat with yellow stripes, just like Cringer or Battle Cat. I love the great stories in your magazines. That's Buford Taylor, McKenzie, Tennessee. That's something I think of 4th grade. See, we only got 3 letters left. Is there going to be one we can call bullshit on? Go ahead.
I'm going to go with Gregory here, because he lives in Martinsville, Virginia. I'm in 2nd grade. I want to say hello to you and Orko and Tila. I have your magazine and love the puzzles and the posters. I think that might be one of the worst letters of the bunch.
Quick and bland, but it's a 2nd grader. I mean, what was he, like 7 or 8? Dear He-Man, I think Orko needs a little practice with his magic, but I still think he's cute. You and Tila are neat, too. I am 9 years old. That's Jessica Dirksen from New Bremen, or Bremen, whatever, Ohio. So that sounds real, and I guess I'll save the Whiplash one for you.
No, yeah, Joe, I will pass it on to you. You can go ahead and read this one.
Dear He-Man, I am 10 years old. Here's a picture of Whiplash. The reason I made Whiplash is because he's the only one who can wrestle you for at least 5 minutes. The others are too weak. And that's from Kristen T. Hunwardsen from Dayton, Ohio.
That's a bullshit letter. That's a bullshit. Your content's in there. It might be his opinion, but it's bullshit. That's a bullshit opinion.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, well, the thing is, I'm thinking he might have been inspired by Clash of Arms. Maybe he read that mini comic a lot and seeing the whooping that Whiplash was putting on Fisto. So,
but the others are too weak. Come on, man.
Yeah, this one, and for 10, I don't know how to rate that drawing. That's it's unique. I'd have to have some of the artists, like maybe Grimbot in the chat room, say, what does he think that's like for 10 years old? Is that Whiplash any good?
I mean, that's probably as good as I could have done. I'm not good at drawing at all.
Assuming you did probably been worse or something. But hey, it's a nice stamp up there with imp at the top. 22 cents in 1985 for a stamp. But I guess that's what it costs. I didn't even know.
But Graham also said, why is imp on an Eternian postal stamp?
Dun, dun, dun. You know what's weird is that's a thing that I don't know, like when they were having, the issues with the rights and when they were making the classic figures to try to get Filmation rights so they could do the Filmation characters, but then sometimes there are loopholes if they had stuff in other things, like, which is why some of the, like even the Karg, being made, and we thought, oh, we'd never have Karg because they didn't have the movie rights, but they're like, oh, but he was in a Masters of the Universe magazine in one of those stories, so they could base it off of that. So with that being said, I wondered, like, let's say if at the time they didn't have the rights for Filmation and couldn't do Imp, I'm like, well, not only did Imp appear here, but he appeared in some of the magazines and a lot of the coloring books as well under the Masters of the Universe banner. It's like, could that have been a loophole? But I actually don't know. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Probably would have broken it down into, like, hey, look at this little character. Oh, can we just put him in the magazine or coloring books? That would be fun for the kiddies, right? That's probably all it was.
Yeah, I mean, but it was still cool to see them in things that some people forgot. It's like, well, it still is, it's been official. It was printed, and it wasn't under Filmation. But he said, didn't Mattel publish this? I mean, I guess Mattel, published the magazines, I'm assuming. Yeah, so they should have had the rights. It should be Mattel. I'm trying to look right now, just trying to see the publications. But, yeah, I guess it would be. I don't know, I was just trying to look quick. But either way, yeah, I mean, I figured they're putting these out. Golden was putting out all the coloring books. And remember, Golden was putting out the storybooks as well, which is why we got Goatman. Remember, Goatman's only appearance in Secret of the Dragon's Egg. So we got Goatman. So you assume, well, Golden did a lot of those coloring books. Imp was in those. It's like, well, couldn't we have got Imp? But again, I don't know the legal things.
That's another Classics figure I need to get is Goatman.
Yeah, he's a cool figure. He is. It was good to finally have him after all these years.
Joe,
so.
we're friends, right?
No.
Oh.
We're just companions that talk on a podcast. No, I don't.
I was hoping you would say that we were friends.
Okay, we're friends.
Are we best friends?
Oh God, what is this leading to? Sure, we're best friends.
Well, do you want to go ahead and enter in this best friend instant win sweepstakes from Willy Wonka? We can win can win $100,000. Over 12,500 kids can be winners. One of them can be you. The grand prize is a $250 toy store shopping spree. There's only 2 of those available. First prize is
that's cheap as shit. Go ahead.
Is a Schwinn bicycle. Second prize, a Wilson Raleigh Jr. tennis racket. Third prize, Willy Wonka Fun Club kits and surprise. So, I mean...
Let me just say this. I didn't even realize, this is really cheaper and shit. You mean the people that are putting this together, all they could afford were only 2 grand prizes of $250 toy shopping spree? I mean, you couldn't have made like 10. That's all they could afford was 2. And then, but, I mean, look at the Schwinn bike. I'm sure that was probably pretty pricey, and they gave 40 of those away. I don't know what a Schwinn cost back then, but I'm assuming that still had to be about $100 maybe, or something.
I don't know.
2 of those wow. You know what, speaking of Willy Wonka, I remember being so disappointed because, the movie, I think it bombed at theaters, but like the cult status got popular when it came out on VHS. I almost said DVD. That would have made me sound like an idiot, even though I'm not. Well, anyways, so it came on VHS and everybody was renting, and then you'd see it on TV, but the everlasting gobstopper, it's like, I used to think, oh, wow, how cool would that be? I could suck on something that had that flavor and it'd never go away because, me licking food that I always talk about. So I was fascinated about a gobstopper and a jawbreaker that never went away. Until then, they released them. They're like everlasting gobstoppers. You can buy them at the stores. And they were like just the circles, like a regular jawbreaker. And I put them in. I was like, oh, it went away. It's like, it shows how when you're a kid, sometimes you're so fucking gullible. At least I was. I thought I was going to get something that you could just keep having forever, or at least a long time. And I got the stupid ass little ball jawbreakers.
I love gobstoppers, but I don't even think they even make these other ones, the Tartan Tinies and Wacky Wafers. Those are long gone, I would think. I haven't seen them anyway.
Probably, I don't think they're anymore. Wacky Wafers, what's weird is I feel like I might still see that. There's some specialty stores in the area, but Tartan Tinies, I don't think they make those anymore. Damn movie. All right,
but hey, look at that. We should just someone should Photoshop this, put the mask on one of them.
But you and me, you'd have to be the one with the long hair or the blonde hair?
I don't know, because I'm like a little bit of both. Even though my though it's funny that because I saw Joe's hair. He showed us like how he needs a haircut and everything, and his hair is just like blonde. And as a kid, my hair was like really light blonde, and then it just gradually got darker and darker, and now it's almost just like red tint to it. I guess it's always had that, or I've always had red hair, but it's just weird how that.
Yeah, it's like a reddish brown. I mean, mine. Kind of like my lighting makes it look a lot lighter, but my hair is kind of. I mean, it's brown, dirty blonde kind of too, but you can't really tell. It's like not really easy to see. So, plus this light. Like I said, look at everything. Everything makes everything super white in here. Now you got to go to the next page, damn it.
All right.
See, even Andy Alcee was let down by the Gobstoppers as a kid. See, people were expecting something better.
I guess I just wasn't from them. I'm just like, oh yeah, these. I mean, definitely don't bite on them early on, because that's a good way to break a tooth. But here we have Orko's Orko's Earth Report. There we go. Say that 5 times fast.
This did nothing for me. When I seen this, like, I don't care. I do not watch baseball.
What?
I do not watch tennis. I was like, I don't care about this. I was like, with basketball, I like basketball, but it was such a quick clip anyways. Like, that's it. Because the thing is, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I used to always try to imitate his sky hook because he had a unique way he would do it. It wasn't just a hook shot. It was the sky hook, and I like that. But otherwise, like, this whole page sucks.
Oh, come on, Joe. You're trying to sit here and tell me that you don't give a shit about Dave Winfield? Outfielder for the New York Yankees.
Who?
Dave Winfield.
I don't know him. I don't know the tennis player guy.
That's John McEnroe, man. John McEnroe was notorious for getting really pissed off at like the line judges. So when they'd say it was out, he would just like break his racket and shit and get in their face and yell at them all the time. He was awesome.
Yeah, that's terrible. Somebody has a bad temper. I couldn't even picture that. That's amazing. Somebody has a bad temper.
Not us.
Unreal.
But this was
not at all.
But this was also too. With the NBA Finals, this is Lakers and Celtics. These guys.
That was the rivalry back in the day.
That was the rivalry, the only one really. Yeah. It seemed like, and then this was kind of strange. I thought, just because of the how this was back in the day. But when I would watch baseball on TV, it was primarily like, here's the Atlanta Braves on TBS. But any other time, if it was Fox or ESPN, it was weekend games. So to see like Monday Night Baseball, which is kind of strange, but I imagine that was a takeoff from the off season when football wasn't in play. It's like Monday Night Baseball, dun, 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 dun. But it's cool.
Really Monday Night Baseball?
Yeah, that's kind of weird that they did that. All right.
Did I just say, oh, God, Monday Night Baseball? Hey, Zentron, how you doing, buddy, old pal?
Moving on to the next page. For movies, we have The Black Cauldron, which I think is an underrated Disney movie. That Disney sort of just swept that one under the rug. Like, they don't give a shit about it. I think that's a great movie. These books, obviously, I have not checked out. And then they kind of talk about Secret of the Sword right here, very briefly.
Which is, of course, the only thing I got excited about, too. I mean, Black Cauldron, I'll admit, I might have seen that once when I was a kid, so I don't even remember it. Don't even remember it, and that's probably sad to say, and it's probably going to upset everybody here, but But yeah, and these other things with these books and these little trumpets or whatever with a little rabbit, I didn't care about that. It was just, oh, hey, they're talking about He-Man and She-Ra. Anytime I'd see pieces of art, it'd just get me excited. So that's the only thing that meant anything to me, and that is just about He-Man and She-Ra.
Andy Alcee.
But Black Cauldron, yeah, maybe.
I was going to say, Andy Alcee, when I was a kid, I would see it was about sports and skip that page. How dare you not give the respect to Dave Winfield, outfielder of the New York Yankees?
Yeah, and the guy with the tennis racket. How could you not give respect to him?
Yeah, John.
Son of a gun. At least, you can for Larry Bird, though, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, though. It's the only good thing in this whole entire sports section is just seeing those two right there. But otherwise, yeah, the tennis guy and the baseball guy. Yippee.
Well, here we go. My next favorite part of all of these flipping through the issues that we do. Here we have Joe Hansen. Honesty rewarded. He is your He-Man of this issue. And Joe, I'll let you read that if you'd like.
You sure you don't want to? I mean, you picked on this poor kid. You know, he could only afford his school photo to send in that you just ragged on, where I told you the kid might have been dirt poor. His mom and dad didn't have a camera. They couldn't afford to take any other pictures. And then you're pissing all over this poor kid because all he could send in was his...
And his shirt looks tight on him, too. It looks like it's...
I'm going to stick up for Joe like here. That's a good name, by the way.
Is it, though?
Oh, here we go.
Is it?
Yeah, He-Man... Yes, it is. It's great. This is the honesty rewarded. And this is Joe Hansen. Joe Hansen of South Elgin, Illinois, is our terrific He-Man of the issue. Joe's father works for a limousine company. Oh, wait, he might be rolling high. He should have a fucking camera. Now I'm starting to go against you, Joe. Let me wait. I got to keep going. Well, anyways, he works for a limousine company, driving passengers to and from a nearby airport. One day, on his way to return the car, Mr. Hansen stopped at home and offered Joe a ride. Since he usually rides around on his bicycle, Joe jumped at the chance. Little did Joe know that his first ride in a limousine would be such an adventure. As he rode along, Joe glanced down at the seat beside him. He was surprised to find a wallet, obviously left by one of the previous passengers. When Joe looked inside the wallet, he was amazed. The wallet contained over $1,000. Joe and his father immediately returned the wallet to the limousine company. They knew that the man who lost the wallet would be upset when he found it missing. A few days later, Joe was in for another surprise. The grateful passenger had contacted Mr. Hansen and gave him a small package for Joe. Joe unwrapped his package and found a $100 reward. Joe never expected a reward for being honest. He has always known that returning something to its owner is simply the right thing to do. Congratulations to Joe for his He-Man judgment and honesty.
See, he's not poor anymore, Joe. He's got $100.
You know, Joe,
Maybe he can go buy a new shirt.
Yeah, Joe, it's like, son of a gun. If your father, first, he runs this limousine company, or not runs it, I'm sorry, works for it. He's a driver.
It's drug trafficking, Joe. That's probably what it is. That dude had $1,000 just in his wallet.
$1,000? You know he's getting crazy tips. His dad is getting crazy tips. So definitely you have the money to where you could have had your parents bought a camera. They probably had a camera. Could have took a better picture. Oh, go ahead.
Hang on. Let's all right, a limousine company in Elgin, Illinois? Really? Come on. Like, maybe if it was California, out in like Los Angeles or something, I could understand. But Elgin.
Well, around the airport in Elgin, they got $1,000. I mean, the guy's rolling with $1,000 in a wallet. You know, he's got money. Airport people are always loaded with money. But I'm not buying it. $1,000. That's a lot of money. I'm thinking that, you know, he just, hey, Dad, tell me, forgot, you know, the wallet back here, and they're like, son, look inside to see if there's any money. It looks like, oh, no, there's like $5. Oh, never mind. Oh, I guess we'll just return it anyways. And he never got a return. He never got a reward or a package or a prize. But yeah, I guess he could have had a better picture, because now that I think about it, your dad had money, and you could have afforded something better than the school picture where you're looking like a deer in the headlights. So, Joe, I was for you. Now I'm kind of against you, but I guess Joe's still okay. I can't put him down completely. It's a good name.
It's another bullshit letter. It has to be.
I'm
sorry.
Chat room, look it up and find this guy really did it. There will be a newspaper clipping. Who did that last time? Was it JSP who researched and found the real newspaper clip? Well, she's like, guys, actually, here's the clip from the newspaper. Joe really did. It's like, oh, son of a bitch.
Andy Yelsey says it's pronounced Elgin.
Oh, I'm sorry, Elgin. I'm a moron, Andy. Remember, I can't pronounce stuff too good.
Are you sure, though? So, because there's a professional wrestler that has a last name similar to that, and they they say Elgin.
Well, you know, potato, tomato, whatever.
Andy Yelsey says he was born there, so. Hey, all right. Well, there you go. Were there limousine companies a thing? I didn't think that was just. Maybe it was more so back in the 80s, but I guess
I'm surprised Andy wasn't best friends with this guy because of all the shit that Andy owns and brags about and has. So I'm surprised him and Joe weren't best buddies. That's my buddy Joe.
Well, maybe it was Andy's dad who had the $1,000 in his wallet.
No, I can picture that. Wouldn't be something? But all right, let's get to the next thing. We won't have to read this whole story because this one is just too much damn dialogue, and some of the pictures were always strange. But I'll wait till you get it up there because I am missing stuff. This is because of the posters being out. This is how my magazine went.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have that whole thing with Joe. It's not in my magazine anymore. Just my good ripped back cover and stuff. And yeah.
All right. Well, here we have the Legend of Hordak, and it's essentially Teela asking Man-at-Arms, tell me the story. So you just get like a brief, quick thing of, hey, he was here, him and Skeletor hung out, and...
Yeah, and like you said,
we were
saying like earlier, Yeah, it's she's gonna find out some stuff. Figured why wouldn't she question? It's a quick way of saying a story, like especially when he brings up somebody, you figure she'd be like, "Wait, now who's that?" Unless we're supposed to be, under the impression that maybe she already knew about some parts, but I doubt it. But the cool thing is, it was a different look for Hordak. We're having a cape and had a shield, and of course, anytime you see Modulok's pretty cool. But you find out, of course, Skeletor being his like number one pupil, like we already kind of knew, but as it advances, yeah, you'll see what happens. It was kind of weird seeing the Skeletor with just kind of,
Yeah.
I don't know, the design is different, but yeah, but it's still different.
Yeah.
But look at Modulok in the back armor. Check him out right there. Behind Leech, that's a cool character right there.
I thought overall, like, for the magazine, Skeletor being naked aside, like, the art in this isn't that bad at all.
Oh, no, I didn't mind the art. It's still fine. But there you see about him taking Adora, of course, and then, Skeletor sealing the gate behind him so he could trap him there. But, this is when I thought, well, wouldn't Tila say, wait, Adam has a sister? Or been shocked about it if she did not know about a sister. I figured that would be a pretty big thing. You just heard there's Princess Adora. Unless, again, you want to say we're under the impression she already knows of Adora, but now she's hearing the story again, but that doesn't make sense. So, still, cool-looking art. Nice little fun, I guess, quick little story, but it was their way of kind of getting Hordak into these little stories that you get in the magazines and popping up. Still kind of okay, though. It wasn't too bad.
I'm going back to the chat again where Andy Elsie says that Elgin was right on the interstate leading to the airport, and high school kids like to rent out limos for proms. I think, I guess it's just me thinking, because around here that was just I feel like never been a thing with limo companies, and having that around, that probably just where I live, and then the time. At the time, that was probably a huge, maybe it's still a thing, I don't know. Look at that He-Man, Nathan still thinks that. I said for the most part, the art looked okay. I didn't
he's going to dig into you. He's got to do that. He's got to do it. The only two things I remember drawing from this sketch pad, which, again, I don't have here because I don't have it no more. I remember trying Orko and Skeletor a lot. My Skeletor would always come out really horrible. Horrible.
Well,
Orko wasn't too bad.
There's not much to live up to because the Skeletor on this page is actually quite
already
horrible
looks
too.
Bad.
Yes.
Exactly. So is Grayskull. Grayskull scared the shit out of me. Gringer's pretty good, but I like drawing Orko. So Orko would come out pretty okay, but yeah, I wasn't a super fan of that. I liked how they tried to, show you the basics of shapes to do this, to then flesh stuff out, but nah. Yeah. That's a fucking cracked out Castle Grayskull there, though.
If it would have been better about it, I should have just had like a sketch pad here and tried to draw them myself. Yeah, well. It would have been awkward because I would have had to have been like, oh, well, let me put the the camera right here. And I wouldn't have been able to.
I'll tell you what you should do. You should have had a piece of paper, get a piece of paper and get a pencil, draw, show it, and then just show the progression.
I'm not good at drawing, even like these shitty ones here. It would
learn how to draw characters poorly.
Yeah. That's what they should have called that.
Yeah, Grim, you got to give it to Oracle. That's not bad, though. That's pretty good for showing some basic shapes, and even Cringer's not bad. But yeah, not Castle Grayskull and Skeletor. That's some crazy stuff. Maybe I'll see what I can do with it. Maybe put it on Facebook or use it as an avatar. All right, what's the next page?
I didn't. I'll be honest. I didn't read this story at all to prep. So, Joe, you would probably have to take the lead on that because other than seeing the rabbits coming out of a hat, and we have laughing Prince Adam. Well, everyone's laughing, actually, and looking happy. I have no idea what is going on here.
I'll be honest. It's been so long since I read the story, I couldn't remember the whole premise. I just know that I hated... Hold on. I hate this page. I hated how Man-at-Arms looked.
Yeah.
I did not like it. So this one just... It never... Damn, look at my magazine falling apart before my very eyes. Hold on. I tried to get it back together. I don't remember the whole story. That's something that we could always save for another episode where we actually read the story and discuss it to say, was it any good? But I was not a super fan. And the thing showing Spike or holding Orko up, I'll wait till we get to that page. Wait, are we... What the fuck is this? Oh, it'll be the next page after Orko. Yeah, that's what I'll mention is it's how when we were watching Filmation episodes and I'd say, how is Orko falling? He floats. What's going on? And I always pick with Tyler, like, yeah, Orko could just fly right up there and get out of the way. You don't always do it just to fucking poke Tyler to annoy him. But you're going to see in this one next page, you'll see Spikor on top of Snake Mountain, holding Orko, like he's holding, like, oh, I could drop him and he would, fall or he dives. Like, but Orko floats, and plus Orko could just disappear. But
that part of it makes no sense. And Man at Arms looks.
I hated that. I hated that look. I mean, I was like, I don't like
Joe, honestly, if you could clean that, just Man at Arms, if you can clean that up a little bit and put it on a shirt, I might buy it just because it looks so stupid.
Would you?
I think I would.
Okay.
I really think I would. Just because he's like,
I'll try to redraw it as on my own, do something, and I'll get that on a shirt for you. Yeah, I can do that.
People would be like, "What?" People would be like, "What the fuck are you wearing?" Like, it's just out in public.
I love it because it's so stupid looking. Like, you're probably wearing that. Like, hell yeah! It makes no sense. That is just a horrible pose and look. But I'll do that for you. And then, yes, that's a really weird looking Snake Mountain. Agreed, Grim. That is that's strange as hell. I don't even know what's happening there. It's like the whole goofy face that I like picking on that looks like Alf, that I say, the Muppet face. It's not even on there. But that's it's definitely unique.
Like, you could see that Man at Arms being on a shirt and it has some stupid saying underneath like Mondays, am I right? Yeah.
If you want me to do it, do you want that?
No, don't put the words on there. I think the picture just needs to speak for itself.
Okay. All right, you got it.
So, what a terrible. I don't know.
It's interesting. Some of the other things were kind of okay. Maybe not when Skeletor is getting thrown in the tree, though. He-Man throws him in a tree trunk, and of course they purposely. I gotta wait till you get to that page when you start.
I'll just go ahead and flip it to it, and yeah.
Yeah, because that part. That made me always laugh as a kid, and I'm laughing right now because you knew what's coming up. There's purposely a hole in one spot and another, and of course, boom, Skeletor's head there, boom, his arm's there, but he's being thrown like he's a cannonball, how he lands perfectly into that tree trunk. When you get to that page, dear God.
It's not as bad as that Man at Arms, though.
I know, but it's so stupid that he's falling perfectly, all folded up like a ball, and lands right in that spot perfectly with the head and the arm sticking out. It's like, I don't even know how that could be possible. His arm would have been broke going in there, but whatever. But there's your fun story of whatever the hell that was.
Yeah, we probably should have actually read that.
Yeah, we'll do that some other time.
We have the Secret Wars advertisement, which has been in the other magazines that we've already talked about before. And then we have the hidden hero. Someone is hiding in Eternian Forest by blending into the trees and flowers. He can spy on Skeletor, Webstor, and the other evil ones.
And I still have my... Damn, that page is going to fall off before this episode's over. Come on, Joe, keep it together. I actually still have my fold, so I'm going to fold it. Just so you know I'm not bullshitting. I mean, I still have my fold. But let's see. I like putting that over to where... Shit, let me do this before I knock everything over. And it's Mossman's there. I used to get a kick out of those fold the page things or rip the back of the page cover like I'm doing right now. Let me get this over there without turning things off. Damn, Joe, fold this motherfucker. I'm sorry, you keep talking before I break some shit. There it is. Okay. Try to get it together nice and good and not knock everything over. And, see, you can see it's Mossman. See? Fold the crotch together. Can you see?
Yeah, I can mostly just see Mossman's crotch. Bring it down a little more.
All right, let me pull it down.
There you go.
There you go. So there, Mossman's face and body. So yeah, I always like those things. So that was kind of cool. Damn, I'm ripping this fucker up. Okay, there,
easy,
back
Joe.
to normal. Yeah, it's still pretty cool. You got Skeletor in there, and you got Webstor in there in the middle. So kind of.
Did you have Did you have the computer pun filled out?
The computer pun?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Where's that at?
Are you missing that page? You might be missing that page.
Hold on. Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. I got it. And yes, damn page. It's going to go.
I'm surprised you didn't tape that back together.
Okay, yeah. I filled them all out. I'm hoping I got them all right, but you can see my terrible penman.
Well, let's just go one by one here. The skin of an orange is called a what, Joe?
The skin of an orange is called a peel. P-E-E-L.
Number 2, the hard part inside of a peach is called a...
Pit, P-I-T. My God, that's terrible penmanship. Go
A
ahead.
giraffe has a very long what?
N-E-C-K, neck.
The letter of the alphabet between D and F is...
E.
A witch wears a tall, pointed what?
H-A-T, hat.
If the sign on a door doesn't say pull, it probably says...
Don't open this fucking door. No, it says push, P-U-S-H.
After you put on your socks, you put on your underwear.
Shoot, S-H-O-E. Now, what did I fuck up here? Because they then have to decode at the bottom. It says, question, how does Teela call Prince Adam? Answer, she picks up the What the hell did I tell?
Telephone?
But what? I still don't think I got it right after all these years. What did I do wrong? Hold on a second. Tell me what you can see. Oh shit, it's going to be blurry probably. Can you even see letters or no?
Lift it up just a little bit.
I'm trying to see what direction to do it. All right, well, I'll take what I got. I was like, she picks up the telephone, but why is that not fitting in right? What did I do wrong? I got T-E-L-E-P-H. Then on number 20, I scribbled it out for some reason. And on 21, I put O. 22, I put N. 23, I put E. Because...
Well, I mean, we'll flip it upside down because the answer's there in the bottom right corner.
Oh, son of a bitch. I don't even know. She picks up the... Oh! Nathan, holy shit, after all these years, you just made me read something I've never seen. It's called the telephone. I was trying to just be common sense.
That's so great.
I said she picks up the... Is this not real? I was thinking, it's just got to be telephone. And so when I wrote this, I'm going to scan it later and show it on the Fans of Power Facebook page of how it still looks. This has never been right all these years because I was confused. And you just told me it was there. I've never looked. The telephone.
I give him the softballs, and he still just swings and misses.
35 years later. Is that not unreal?
Well, I mean, Joe, it's there in the title. Computer pun. Come on.
But I was a moron. I still am. Back then, I didn't get it. How did I never solve this? And 35 years later, I finally got the answer, and it was sitting right there underneath. Holy shit. Yeah, I know, Zen Brown. My goodness. What the fuck? How did I never get that and never seen that there? All these years, I have this incoherent telephone that I was putting letters and mixing. I was like, I don't get it, and scratching shit off. Oh my god, thank you for that, Nathan. I actually needed that. That's fucking great.
I mean, to be fair, too, I couldn't really see the answer at the bottom. I was just kind of assuming that it had to be the play on words and it was telephone. But for you to figure it out all on your own like that, that's pretty good.
Shut up. No, but I mean, for you to even suggest it, it's like, why didn't I look? I always would look at the bottom of the pages for the answers on the things. Why did I never notice that? Oh my god, I'm dumber than I fucking thought. Wow. Shit.
Well,
okay. Hey, we got a beautiful picture promoting, of course, Secret of the Sword, where mine is, as you can see, it's had better years, but it's still there. And I always love seeing that. I love looking at the pictures, like, oh god. And even after seeing the movie and watching, it's like, this is still so fucking cool. It was just, it was like He-Man had a sister just as strong as he is, and it was just cool as shit. But yeah, I still got it.
And then to one-up Willy Wonka, with post-serial, you can win all you can haul.
Hell yeah, now that was a dream. I loved how they put that Castle Grayskull. I used to just fantasize about going into Toys R Us and just winning a shopping spree and grabbing as much shit as possible. I thought, God, it'd be a dream, but is that not a collaboration of just 80s goodness of seeing Gremlin stuff and Castle Grayskull, and then fucking, a nice good box TV, I'm assuming? Oh, shit, man.
Yeah, that's probably about a third... that actually looks like, instead of a TV, that's sort of... The way stuff's sitting on it, it sort of looks like a computer.
Well, the thing is, I never owned a... Yeah, because look at the side of it. I don't know.
That might be like one of those... I'm not...
Commodores or something?
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with like the sort of the computer-based video games back during the time, but I know that they had variations of different shit. But
and hell, and those cool, like I said, board games, Jungle Hunt. Like I said, not just a video game, but board games. But Yar's Revenge, man, I love playing some Yar's Revenge. Good God, look at this goodness, man. God damn, those were the days, weren't they? Look at that cereal. That was when it had better flavor.
Is Alphabets still even a thing?
I'm assuming it has to be. I haven't seen it, but
I haven't seen Alphabets in a while, but I haven't really looked for it either. 100 lucky kids win shopping sprees, $1,000 max, so that's already better than the $250 at their favorite Toys R Us store. 1,000 kids could win a Huffy bicycle, or would win, and 50,000 kids will win a Toys R Us T-shirt. Man,
see, they weren't playing around. Those are real prizes, unlike that. Yeah, that, my God, look at everything they're giving. That's what I mean. So for the other one to give $250, like, oh, that's great. Could you spare it? Cheap bastards.
Well, now on.
All right.
Well, we got the posters here at the end, so you get some exclusive scenes from the animated movie The Secret of the Sword. Which I guess, with you, if we're going, this came out earlier in the summertime, and they were saying September for this, then this would have been like, oh, wow, look at this.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But no, remember, the movie was in theaters in March.
Oh,
so,
okay. So it came.
Yeah, so we already knew. Either way, for people for TV, though, yes, I see what you mean.
But you think about it, like, well, how well did it do at the box office? How wide of a release was it?
I don't know. For a kid, I was just like amazed to go and see it. I mean, it was amazing. I didn't know about box office reports and how it did back then. I just know, oh my God, I'm seeing He-Man in the theaters. I was like losing my shit as a kid, just going nuts. Like, I'm going to see He-Man on the big screen. What a moment that was. And I was at Northtown Mall. I remember that theater too. Standing in line with my sister because my mom, she dropped us off. So my sister was there basically as babysitting me. She hated He-Man. And when the movie was over, because when you stand in line, they were giving you free copies of the comic book, Secret of the Sword. So right when the movie was over, she said, here. I always remember saying it. She just gave me her copy too, so I still got those 2 copies of Secret of the Sword, mine and hers. She didn't care about no He-Man this year. She just knew she was there to watch her younger brother at the theaters, make sure everything was okay, and then get picked up after the movie.
Well, I found some information. Release date March 22nd, 1985. It grossed $7.6 million at the box office domestically. So
might have been good for whatever. I mean, I don't know. But...
Well, it says like. In the in-release part, it says 1,015 days or 145 weeks. And I know that movies had a tendency to linger around in movie theaters a lot longer than they have in the last, 25 years. But that seems like a long time for that to... That part of it seems inaccurate. But 7.6 million, that's pretty good.
Good. Huh. Good. Yeah, good old days. Those were the days, man. So I guess if you guys... had a couple questions, you can go ahead and shoot them here. It doesn't have to be nothing major because this was just a quick bonus episodes anyways. But and Andy Alcey said he saw that movie in Elgin. He saw that in Elgin, Illinois. I'm not gonna say Elgin. I'm gonna say Elgin. I'm saying Elgin. I call bullshit. I don't care if you grew up there. It's Elgin to me. Sorry for your loss, man. Zen Brown. I'm sorry. I just seen your post and sorry for your loss for your dad back then, man. I know that'd be rough.
Yeah, that's never good. Way to bring it down, Joe.
Yeah, I was like, geez, I'm sitting there shitting all over Andy, and then Zen Brown did that. And I was like, okay, now I feel weird if I was trying to joke, but he knows how I am, so I'm gonna just shit back on Andy again in his shitty city. So,
Graham 2 says Black Cauldron made $21.3 million, and that was a flop. But I mean, I think that's apples and oranges, I feel like, because you have a Disney film, the budget.
That's a big production, probably a lot more budget. Yeah. JSP said that it did better than Transformers the movie. Huh. I didn't know that. What the hell did Transformers the movie make? I thought that would have been like gangbusters. If anything, I was like, man, Transformers the movie probably went nuts. So look that up, Nathan. I'm curious to see what the hell that made.
It had a budget of, Wikipedia is conflicting, a budget of $5 to $6 million, but its box office was only $5.8 million. So yeah, I would. Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, that did flop. Yeah. All right, I feel good
now.
Damn it.
You got to think that most of that too is probably that initial way people saw it. Spoilers, everybody. Optimus dies. Kids are upset. Parents are like, I'm not taking my kids to that. Who knows?
I don't know. I just figured I know Transformers, how damn popular that was and still is today. So there you go. So He-Man might not win on a lot of other things when it comes to stuff, but damn it, they won back there in the box office. So He-Man was the champ. How about that? Let me see. Black Cauldron was in production for a full 10 years, much larger budget than Secret of the Sword. Wow, 10 years. Good God, I didn't know that. Well, thanks for that info, Andy. I guess you do know some things once in a while. But, okay. Well, how do you want to wrap it up, Nathan, before we wrap this sucker up? Anything else you want to say?
I appreciate you guys joining us live. Those of you that catch this after the fact, I hope you enjoyed this bonus edition of us flipping through a magazine, and the second time in a row that we've read the letter and thought it was bullshit, and it's probably not, because we have, of course, there's someone in the chat that can dispute it or
fact check us, JSPC. You can find out the real truth. We want to find out the truth. Hey, Rebecca Cox, how you doing? Yeah, that Horde poster is badass. All those posters were damn awesome. Anything Earl Norm would draw, like these draw things, something you'd think would be the most ridiculous thing in the world, looks great. But you're right, that is an awesome poster. And did you see in the background? You see Modulok? You see him back there, and he's holding the other head? So just want to point that out again, in case you guys see. Oh, and there's Imp, too. But, yeah, there's Modulok.
This is easily my favorite piece of art within the magazines.
It is badass. Grimbot said, never mind. He said, did you know the magazine was published by Alcala? It's an inside joke. There's just, yeah. But thank you for that, Grim. I appreciate that. So, yeah, for anybody that is new to this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, share, ring the bell. We are really glad you joined us here for, like you said, it was a different episode. It was something just, yeah, we didn't expect. That's why I always say make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you can be notified when we go live. That's why I always stress it, because you don't know when it's going to happen. You get bonus stuff like this.
Yeah.
So, until next time, have a powerful day.
I don't have trivia. I was thinking about it yesterday.
Usually do a wrestling
thing. I know.
Thing.
I was thinking about it yesterday, actually. I was like, I should do wrestling trivia. And then, didn't think about it again and totally forgot about it. Maybe I can pop something off in my head.
Wait.
Okay. All right. I think I got one for you that I haven't asked you before.
Okay.
Later on, of course, when there was the simulcast, when WWF bought WCW, simulcast, of course, you would have characters, the same person on both shows. But it did also happen one other time prior. There was an episode of Raw and Nitro.
Was that where Rick Rude was on too? Oh, see, I knew something. Finally, my God, I got one of his trivia.
Because Raw back in the day went from before early on. They would have one live show, and then I think there were probably 3-4 that they put in the can. But as the Monday Night Wars progressed, it was a live show, then a tape show, live show, tape show. So they would film 2 shows at one venue, and it just so happens that Rick Rude, still with DX, I think he had full beard on, was there, and then he left. And then that next week, he was on Nitro, and he had shaved and kept his signature mustache. I think either that or he was completely clean shaved. I want to say he kept the mustache. And then,
well, I at least got something right. And Zen Brown, that was not a good guess. I knew it, Zen Brown. That's why I said it so quick. So give me some damn credit, man. I finally got one.
And also, check out all the links down below. When Joe puts up that Man at Arms on his TeePublic site, go buy one of those, because that Man at Arms just looks ridiculous.
It's gonna happen. I'm redrawing that sucker, recoloring, gonna just get it up there, and yes, you order it, and anybody else can order it, and we can all represent the weirdest look for Man at Arms. Well, one of them, because I'm sure Grim will be like, well, Joe, did you see this? Grim will probably try to top it. No, that Man at Arms is strange as hell. So, and I'm glad you liked us doing this, Masters Universe fan number 1. Yeah, it brings back a lot of good memories. That's why we like doing this. It's just something different, to just dedicate an episode to just one of the magazines. It's always fun.
Yeah, and we have quite a few more that we can do down the road. Which we look forward to doing, and I guess we'll see you guys Sunday for that mega super show with James and Danielle. I think we're still on track for that, right? I haven't talked to James at all.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
We're set.
All right.
So, see you guys Sunday.